Okay, so this the not so expensive guide to Babymetal, April 1st, updated April 1st, 2026, the latest. A viewer actually suggested that I'll react to also this documentary. And to be honest, after watching this other documentary about Babymetal, I'm like, why not? Why not? Because I'm also already immersed. Like, I kind of like listen to what made them popular, but like not their latest albums and stuff like that. And basically, like, it's a good chance to actually like immerse myself. But like, I learned from like this other like documentary that, for example, they justify the way they act because they follow because they're guided by the nine-tailed fox, Japanese folkloric animal, basically in Japanese mythology, that is really, really just wholesome and cool if you understand what it means and how it's like, it's really just wholesome, the way they have like some lore and stuff. So yeah, a viewer suggested to me to watch a documentary that is portraying better and in a more detailed way the career of Babymetal. So let's check it out. It's been yeah, let's check it out.
Little to the left. There. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to my not-so-extensive guide to Babymetal. This will hopefully be entertaining. However, if it isn't, it will...
Yeah, it must be like, I don't know, like I get the vibe that like my the viewer that like recommended me he knows the good stuff. He knows the good stuff. The viewer that like told me to watch this.
Will at least be informative, and if not that, I will be content to know I drained away some of your precious free time. Also, depending on how much further you are in the future, there could be an updated version of this guide linked in the description. Now, with that settled, and without further ado, let's continue. So,
let's go.
You may be asking, or perhaps not, what exactly is a Babymetal? Babymetal is a Japanese kawaii metal band. Kawaii meaning cute or adorable.
I really love the presentation. Like, it's so wholesome. Like, it's so fucking cool. Like, I really like just like the interface, like the way it does it. I just needed to fucking say it.
Horrible, and is a subgenre of metal they created.
はい、ベビーメタルの音楽は元から可愛いとメタルの2つを融合した音楽性でやっているんですけど、その音楽性は今もなお変わってないと思っています。
They were formed in 2010, and their name comes from the birth of this new style of metal which fuses Japanese pop with various genres of metal. The three members are Sumetal, Moametal, and Momometal.
So when it comes to like naming nomination like this, it seems strange and kind of like sell out on to have like names like this, or like uninspired. But actually, like within Japanese culture, it's completely cool, and it's basically like kind of like a code where like it's like you really kind of like need to love Japan and like care about Japan in a certain way when it comes to art, because like these are like names that like really at least sound like really generic, right? And actually in Japan like within like their culture, it sounds awesome. Like I cannot really explain you like word is right, but I'm pretty sure I can get someone to confirm to you. Like it's really like a way to call themselves, and it's the same with like Babymetal, like the name of the band. Like it sounds kind of like it has this kind of generic kind of like name, but in Japan, like it's a really like a cool way to kind of like speak English. It's like maybe I'm wrong about this, but like yeah.
We are Babymetal.
They are backed by a group of session musicians known as the Kami Band for live shows. Their discography includes 5 studio albums, a greatest hit album, a large amount of live albums and DVD Blu-ray releases. Contrary to what many expect, Babymetal has spent most of their career without creating music for anime and only recently appeared on other artists' tracks, though they did create the opening song for the Western cartoon Unikitty. Babymetal originally started as a subgroup of Sakura Gakuin, an all-girl Japanese idol group themed around school life and extracurricular activities, which was formed in 2010 by the Amuse Talent Agency. It should be emphasized that Sakura Gakuin was not actually a school, so all the girls still attended a regular school. The group had contained between 8 and 12 members at a time, of whom fell within the ages of 10 to 15 years old.
Yeah, basically, like in Japan, like the idol, you know, like K-pop idols and Korean idols, right? In Japan, idol culture is something as well, and basically, like the idol culture can start really young in Japan, where it's like you just like join and try to make something out of like kind of like singing fashion, like in the whole like idol culture. And some people start really young indeed, like, and it's really a lifestyle like no other. Like these people, they're like wired differently, just because like the idol scene is like really something unique and really precious, really beautiful, like if you know about, but also like with its part of problems. But like some people, they get into it really young in Japan, and basically like it makes them like complete, like kind of like they're they become like completely outsiders because of the way they interact with the people in general. Because basically like idol culture is just like you're basically a celebrity that does like cute stuff and sings, or but like in Japan it's like there's like a difference, and it's way more kind of like thoughtful and like really like a lot, I don't know, appreciated in a different way, I guess. So it's really interesting because like, so basically like the girls, they started like really fucking young in this. Well, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Members would transfer out and go on to other ventures once they graduated junior high school. And leading up to that, they would release an annual studio album and hold a road to graduation concert. Then, new members would transfer into the...
Yeah, because you see like this concert made of like high school girls that just sings like this. In Japan, it's actually like really fucking like well seen, and it's like doesn't like it can like idol culture is everywhere, and it has a form that is really like really fascinating, but also really respecting of the idols themselves, because like it's just like a culture, kind of like, if you do not know, like this type of like art like and promotion really do not work like outside of Japan. It's really a Japanese thing. Like I don't know about Korea because they have their idol culture, but like it's really something. And like what they present right now, it's actually like something that is really like more than just like I don't know, it's a whole culture.
Then, new members would transfer into the group. They had released 11 studio albums, one for each year, up until it disbanded in 2021. Babymetal was originally formed as the Heavy Music Club by the producer Kei Kobayashi, with the founding members Suzuka, Moa, and the now former member Yui. They released 4 songs under Sakura Gakuin, but only 3 appeared on SG albums in some form. All 3 members also continued to do other SG activities in addition to performing with Babymetal while they were still members. In 2013, Babymetal split from SG.
So there were like people already in the art industry and releasing like creating like art with other, like I knew that like they were already kind of like in doing art and stuff. but like I just didn't knew that like they were so pro, like already like so well established, so well established and super professional before Babymetal. It's actually amazing because like these people, they're mega monsters. Like, what the fuck?
And became an independent act due to Sue's graduation and leaving Sakura Gakuin and the rising popularity of Babymetal, while Yui and Moa remained in SG until their graduation in 2015. Now let's meet the members of Babymetal. First off, we have Suemetal, full name Suzuka Nakamoto, who was born on December 20th, 1997 in Hiroshima, Japan. She has been a performer most her life and was admitted to Actors School Hiroshima at the age of 8, where she also performed with her sister Himeka in a duo called Tween. She was signed by the Amuse Talent Agency in 2007 after becoming a runner-up in an audition held by the company. She was then placed in a
Yeah, I was talking about like starting young, the idol, like in the idol industry and like in this art music industry, like kind of like celebrity industry in Japan. But like, goddamn, this is really young.
group called Karen Girls, which had been formed to sing songs for the anime Zettai Karen Children and then disbanded when the show had ended. Later in 2010, Sue became one of the founding members of Sakura Gakuin, where she became the lead vocalist of the heavy music club because of her surprisingly powerful vocal ability and unique stage presence for such a young age. She had also become the lead member in SG during her final year and had a single solo song titled Sakura Iro no Avenue. On Babymetal's first 2 albums, Suemetal has 4 solo songs: Akatsuki, Rondo of Nightmare, Amore, and No Rain, No Rainbow. Sue usually takes the leadership role for Babymetal in most situations, including media appearances. She has worked very hard to improve her English over the years as well.
Very nervous, but after a few songs, the audience reacted to our singing and dancing. I really wanted to perform there, so I'm very happy that my dream came true.
She also has songs that she sings entirely in English, such as Believing, From Dusk Till Dawn, and the English versions of both Elevator Girl and The One. Her dream was to become both a singer and songwriter, the latter finally coming true when she became the lyricist for their song Divine Attack off their album The Other One, and again with White Flame off of their album Metal Fourth.
This is
Sue
really
has
cool.
spent years expanding her vocal capabilities and has always surprised listeners with her range, even learning to rap specifically for their song BMC. Yet despite her very serious nature when it comes to her role in Babymetal and her ability to project a very commanding presence on stage when needed, at her core, she is a girl that is incredibly sweet, goofy, and dorky incarnate, something she often unleashes on stage.
Oh, that's actually like if you saw like their clips and their choreographies, like you can feel the like this goofiness, but like I didn't know that that it was like not like completely personal, a personal trait of character rather than like just like a as personality for this to entertain, you know. This is really awesome.
Next up, we have Moametal, full name Moa Kikuchi, born on July 4th, 1999 in Nagoya, Japan. Moa is the shortest member. As I was saying, Moa is the shortest member of Babymetal, standing at just 5 feet tall. Even today, she struggles with her eternal battle with smallness.
でも、なんだろうな、年齢とか
They're not battle
身
smallness.
長とかの成長とか、あとは環境の変化に合わせて
Moa started performing at a very young age and was signed by Amuse in 2007 after winning a competition held by the company. In 2010, Moa joined Sakura Gakuin, where she became a member of the Mini Patty Cooking Club. donning the green bandana, the Twinkle Stars Baton Club, and the Heavy Music Club, where she took the role of Scream and Dance, though it may be best to not take the word scream literally. When Babymetal split off in 2013, she continued on with SG, and like Sue before her, became the lead member of the group in her final year before she eventually graduated in 2015. During the early years of Babymetal, Moa was a member of the subunit known as Black Babymetal with Yuimetal, where they performed 4 songs as a duo: Onidari Daisakusen, Song 4, GJ, and Sis Anger. She was also credited as writing the lyrics to Song 4 together with Yui. It is currently unknown if Black Babymetal or any of these songs will return now that Momo has joined Babymetal. Moa does enjoy singing, which she has been doing since she was in Sakura Gakuin, even doing a few special solo performances, such as taking the lead role for their song Headbanger at concerts to celebrate her birthday, and performing several Black Babymetal songs by herself. However, she has said she has no desire for taking lead, as her passion is for dancing, something she has worked hard mastering, as she had very little experience in it when she joined the group. In fact, her only greater passion may be for food, which she loves, and she is quite determined to make sure this isn't missed by anyone.
I just need to pause. Like this is like the content creator that does this documentary is really a wholesome person. Birth date, 8, hometown status, kawaii. Isn't that fucking sweet to fucking like leave like a detail like this when you do a documentary? I think it's sweet. I just need to fucking like talk like share it with you.
アイドルのことと、あとやっぱ食べ物が好きなので。
Not eat it, you.
Moa has always been a kind-hearted and loving person, and someone who really enjoys interacting with the crowd so as to better show her love and appreciation for the fans. Apparently that applies to security guards as well. That is, if she isn't bonking them over the head while she continues to fight a losing war against the flag.
This is cute.
Fatality.
Now, onto our newest member. Momometal. Full name Momoko Okazaki, who was born on March 3, 2003 in Fukuoka, Japan, and she moved to her hometown of Kanagawa at the age of 3. She joined Amuse in 2014 and transferred into Sakura Gakuin in the following year, and like Moa, joined the Mini Patty Cooking Club, except donning the yellow bandana, as well as the Science Logica Club. Momo loves to dance, with her dream once being to become a backup dancer to an artist. Her training started at around the age of 9, becoming skilled in ballet, hip-hop, and jazz. So when she joined SG, she became known as one of their best dancers, and even choreographed a dance for the group. She is also the daughter of the famous Japanese comedian, stage name Hanamaru Hakata, and this could explain her sense of humor and all-around goofy nature, as well as her propensity to smile a lot. Like seriously, she seems to love smiling more than breathing. In fact, the perpetual energy generator may no longer be a myth, and its name is Momo. She appears to be a living embodiment of a fusion reactor of joy, spreading happiness everywhere she goes. Momo has also had a modeling and acting career, appearing in commercials and TV shows, as well as making a film debut with Itazura na Kiss in 2016, and even playing Elizabeth Midford in the Black Butler musical in 2017 to 18. Then, in 2018, she graduated SG and left Amuse to transfer to a high school abroad so she could fulfill one of her goals of studying English
Just let me just check one thing. Okay.
native speaking country.
Alright. Okay. Let's keep going.
and didn't reappear to the public eye until her appearance at the Taiwanese music festival Super Slipper 10 in August of 2019 as an Avenger, one of the 3 rotating backup dancers for Babymetal that temporarily filled the empty spot left by Yui's departure from the group, fulfilling her dream to be a backup dancer for an artist. Momo got beyond her expectations and was able to accomplish something she probably thought of as impossible. Her implausible wish came true when on April 1st in 2023, she was finally named Momometal. She then proceeded to take her role Scream, literally, bringing her growling into Babymetal across new and older music, including special performances of Metataro and Headbanger at concerts to celebrate her birthday. Though I am pretty sure Moa was just wishing for reinforcements
That's
against
really
the flag.
cute.
And very rarely do we get everything we want.
Flawless victory.
When Momo had joined Babymetal, it had been over 5 years since the group had started operating as a duo with just Sue and Moa. Yuimetal, formerly known as Yuimetal, had stopped performing with Babymetal in late 2017 due to an undisclosed health issue and officially retired from the group on October 19th in 2018 with a statement of her decision, which also thanked and apologized to her fans and those she worked with. This was the last time.
So this was like a really, really respectful like change of in the band, because like losing a member sometimes like it's really like it becomes like a lot of drama and stuff, and here it's like respectful to the fans and between the different entertainers. It's really cool.
She's been heard from since then, except the brief comments made in the Sakura Gakuin 10th anniversary book. And eventually, Amuse confirmed her retirement from the entertainment industry in September of 2025. Yui had tried out for Sakura Gakuin with Moa at the age of 11 with the song Over the Future from Sue's former group Karen Girls, a song Babymetal would later perform a cover of at their Legend D concert in 2012. She was a sweet and shy girl who was good at dancing and loved tomatoes. And the music from Sue's former group had inspired her as it helped her endure a family member's life-threatening illness. Throughout their time in SG and Babymetal together, the 3 girls had regarded each other as family, and that hasn't changed after her departure. Most
That's
importantly,
beautiful.
Sue and Moa has said they supported Yui and respected the decision she made to leave, as well as whatever she chose to do in the future.
What a
message
beautiful
some
story.
of her fans should take to heart. Babymetal started as a quixotic brainchild of Momometal, full name Kei Kobayashi, who has been a
Like, actually, this guy, when I saw, like, actually, this is a fucking legend. Like, it's such a fucking, like, visionary. Like, he really, like, had a dream, and, like, he fucking, he tried to make it happen, and it happened, and his dream was actually Babymetal. It's really, like, just awesome, because like the dude was just like obsessed with a creative idea, and he really got to fucking like have a chance to create it, and since then, well, we know about Babymetal, you know.
Producer at Amuse since 1996, he had felt the metal scene in Japan was getting increasingly old and needed a jolt of youth.
Okay, I don't react to many documentaries like talking about like something that like might be in the documentary. Is this considered spoiling? Like, I'm just so over obsessing, like, but like, yeah.
Youth to jumpstart the genre's popularity again. So, after he was assigned to Sakura Gakuin, he began creating the Japanese pop metal fusion group he had planned. When he had heard Sue singing at the Karen Girls' farewell concert, he was convinced that with her vocal capability, she wouldn't be overwhelmed by a full metal band. So he chose her to be the lead vocalist. Then, to add an idol-like dance aspect, he recruited Yui and Moa, and then began working with Mikiko Mizuno, the choreographer that was assigned to Sakura Gakuin. She had been teaching dance since 19, based on her experience in ballet and street dance. Though she had no experience with the metal genre, she was able to adapt her choreography to the music and has become a key part to Babymetal's success since the beginning as the dancing became integral to the group. When the girls began working on the music, they were truly shocked, as they had never heard metal before and had initially found it to be scary. They had also mistook the devil horns that is often used by metalheads for fox shadow play, something that was then adopted by them.
これは狐残念でした指または手
The mistake also became the foundation of the sci-fi fantasy lore that surrounds the band. Lore that is filled with puns, pop culture references and parody, things Koba has a fondness for, and can be quite convoluted.
Yeah, and it's like it's type like of parodies or stuff like that that like, or references that are so innocent and so like just like good vibes that like it doesn't matter, like it's that's so beautiful, like you can like do art in the art industry.
So it is impossible to go into too much detail with this video. With that in mind, I will only cover some aspects that commonly come up. An example is that when Babymetal introduces themselves, they will use a pun with the English word death instead of the Japanese word des.
Babymetal です
As des means I am or we are and is pronounced similarly. The fox hand sign they adopted became the inspiration for the fox god, Babymetal's fictional god of metal that summoned them. Also,
really
whenever
cool.
there has been a question in an interview they can't or don't want to answer, they have been known to respond with,
Only the fox god knows.
You will see a lot of fox imagery in various aspects of Babymetal, including some elaborate set designs they've had over the years. A fan is also referred to as kitsune, the Japanese word for fox, and occasionally magitsune as the female equivalent, while Babymetal refers to the whole of the fan base as the One, for which they wrote their song of the same name in tribute to them. They also created the English version because they were touched by all the overseas fans who learned the Japanese lyrics of their songs. Another thing to be aware of is April 1st, also known as Fox Day, which is the official holiday of Babymetal. A lot of releases, announcements and concerts happen on or around this day, and you
That's
will
cool.
see it repeatedly appear in their past.
This is
Now
actually
let's
so
discuss
unique.
some of their history and how they reached to where they are today. Early on, with almost no budget due to being a
Like-
part of a fledgling idol
This is like this really good fucking like marketing for real, because like it takes some just like creativity, but like really interesting.
group, Babymetal had sourced their clothes from friends and family. They also couldn't afford a live band through their earliest years, performing to backtracks, and later adding a group called Baby Bones, who wore skeleton costumes and danced around while pretending to play the instruments. They eventually made their live debut at the first Sakura Gakuin festival in November of 2010 with a performance of Doki Doki Morning. The song initially appeared on SG's first album in April of 2011, with an abridged music video released on October 12th, which would spark their first instance of going viral online. It was later that month that it released as Babymetal's debut single in Japan, with a worldwide release in November. Then in March of 2012, a cover of Doki Doki Morning was released by the band Kiba of Akiba on a collaboration CD single with Babymetal, where each band would cover each other's song. This led Babymetal to performing Kiba of Akiba's song Animation with You at many of their early shows. Unsatisfied with only performing at regular SG events, Babymetal slowly began performing at places like strip malls, small venues, and eventually in August of 2012, they became the youngest performers to ever play at the Summer Sonic Music Festival in Japan. They were on a small stage near the food court usually reserved for people like stand-up comedians, and were a late addition to the lineup with the tickets already sold out, so the girls were worried no one would come see them. However, their music drew a crowd regardless, as many surprised by their performance had stopped eating to watch the curiosity. Then, with their growing popularity online, they had
This
their
is a
first
cool
performance
story.
outside of Japan in November of that year at the anime festival held in Singapore. Also in late 2012, on October 6th at their Legend Eye concert, Babymetal's live session band known as the Kami Band had made their debut for 2 songs. The band later played their first full sets in May of 2013 at a few concerts in Japan held as a training tour for Babymetal, though they would only perform intermittently that year, including just half the sets of the Legend 1999 and 1997 concerts that were held to celebrate the girls' birthdays, with Sue celebrating hers by performing an unfinished version of Akatsuki, a piano rendition of the song which was featured on their debut album simply titled Babymetal, which was finally released on February 26th of 2014 with 13 songs in total. This was followed shortly after, on March 1st and 2nd, with them performing at the Budokan, a venue that has obtained worldwide fame, with many legendary artists performing there. This also marked a milestone for Sue, as she had dreamed of performing there since she was a little girl. It was also the point where the Kami Band would become a permanent presence for the group. Then after the shows, Babymetal announced their first world tour, which included the US, the UK, and various other countries in Europe. The album release and the Gimme Chocolate music video going viral online led to what became a major step forward for the band, when they were invited to the UK Sonisphere Festival in 2014, as this would propel them toward being legitimized on an international level. Initially, they had been slated on a small side stage. However, due to the buzz online and a grassroots effort by Babymetal fans, they were moved up to the main stage of about 50,000 people, which became their first large stage outside of Japan. The
Damn.
girls had initially been worried the crowd would not accept them, as UK festival crowds are notoriously hostile. Most of the people there had no idea who they were and were perplexed at what they were seeing. But by the time Babymetal were walking off the stage, they were shouting for more. On November 8th of 2014 at Brixton Academy in the UK, they debuted their song Road of Resistance, a song created in collaboration with Herman Lee and Sam Totman of Dragon Force, and it would eventually
That's
be
awesome.
released as their first single of their second studio album. Later, on June 15th of 2015, they would attend the Metal Hammer Golden Gods to accept the award for Best Breakthrough Band, where they would also perform Road of Resistance and Gimme Chocolate, both with Dragon Force as their backing band. They had previously performed Gimme Chocolate with Dragon Force a few days before the awards ceremony at the Download Festival in the UK, when Babymetal crashed the event with an invite by Dragon Force after the event coordinator had rejected the numerous fan requests to invite them by saying that they had no place at Download and were only a Japanese fad. Babymetal's second album, titled Metal Resistance, would release on April 1st in 2016. The international release included the exclusive track From Dusk Till Dawn, while the Japanese version had the song Syncopation instead. The international version would also include the English version of The One instead of its Japanese counterpart. They then kicked off their tour on April 2nd at the Wembley Arena in the UK, becoming the first Japanese band to headline there. This eventually took them back to the Download Festival in the following June, but this time with an official invite and on the main stage. In July of that year, Babymetal had also made a special appearance at the 2016 Alternative Press Music Awards in the US, where they performed their single Karate.
Damn, they were like, so basically like when they got the chance to actually like work for their careers as it became like worldwide and started like doing shows all around the world. Like it's actually like it's really like they're really done so many efforts because like technically they finished school and they got like they created the band Babymetal, and then they started like to do all the touring that he was talking about. But like Like, can you imagine? Like, it's a lot of effort, and you're really far away from like, well, technically everyone, you know. Like, it's a difficult industry. I'm just like surprised by, like, you know, like just after listening to all that, to all the fucking things that they have done by their second album. It's really amazing.
Afterward, Rob Halford of Judas Priest joined them on stage to perform the Judas Priest songs Painkiller and Breaking the Law. They then concluded the world tour with 2 back-to-back shows at the Tokyo Dome, with about 55,000 fans attending each night, and where Sue would troll Moa in front of them. I do wonder if Sue was brave or naive. Throughout the year in 2017, Babymetal supported various artists as an opening act on their world tours, including Metallica, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Guns N' Roses, Korn and Stone Sour on several of their shows.
Damn.
They then commenced their 5 Fox Festival tour, where they held several shows in Japan with specific audience requirements such as all male, all female, all teenagers, and so on. This tour concluded with the big Fox Festival shows, with the final one on October 15th being the last time Babymetal would perform as the original trio. Prior to the Legend S concert that was held in December of 2017 to celebrate Sue's 20th birthday, it was announced that Yui was advised by her doctor not to perform at this show. Sue and Moa had considered cancelling it, but Moa knew how important it was to Sue, as it would take place in her hometown of Hiroshima, so they agreed to continue on as a duo. This would also unfortunately become the last show the Kami band member Mikio Fujioka would perform with Babymetal, as their longtime guitarist passed away on January 5th of 2018 from falling injuries suffered while stargazing. While the Dark Side Law had been planned far in advance of these events, it became truly reflective of the most difficult year for Babymetal, as Sue and Moa, as well as the fans, tried to adjust to the absence of Yui. Sue and Moa had also discussed quitting after Yui left, but chose to continue on so as to leave open the spot for her if she would return. They also wanted to prove that they could do it themselves, and though it was hard, the struggles had created a stronger bond between them as they learned to rely on each other more. The 2018 tour would see them return to Download again, to a massive crowd, despite the entirety of the tour being a dance formation experiment with additional backup dancers to support Sue and Moa, and even a change in costumes to make them look like elves. And, whatever this is. The following year was an improvement over the last, when in June of 2019, the first major concert of the year was held. With it came the announcement of the Avengers, which would fill the empty spot, restoring the 3-person formation fans preferred. They didn't sing, nor have a mic, and it was never announced who the 3 girls were. However, fans at the shows were able to recognize them as Riho Sayashi, formerly of the J-pop group Morning Musume, who is now a solo artist and actress, and Kano Fujihira, previously from Sakura Gakuin, who later joined the J-pop group 1-5, as well as the now current member of Babymetal, Momoko Okazaki. This would also be the concert that their song Papa Ya, from the album that was coming out later that year, would make its live debut, featuring the Thai rapper F Hero, who appeared personally to perform his part. Then, on October 11th, Babymetal had its first headlining arena show in the US.
They have like so many like by this time, like, can you believe like how many like beautiful collaborations it did as well? Like, I didn't know, but like usually like I think that like it's also because there is a really good vibes as professionals, as artists, because like people don't do all that, you know, like unless you're really like this type of person. But it's just really adorable. So apparently like their personality matches like the way they act completely. Like it's just like, yeah,
which was held at the Forum in Los Angeles to coincide with the release of their new album, with Momo as one of their Avengers that night. This show would also feature the new Western Kami band.
Like, it's all good vibes, goddamn, this story. Like, there are like some difficult moments, but goddamn, like, this story is only good vibes. Everyone is good vibe, and like, what the fuck?
And as Americans were added to the lineup earlier in the tour. The album, titled Metal Galaxy, had 14 tracks on the international release and featured various artists, among them Tim Henson and Scott LePage of Polyphia on the song Brand New Day, and Joachim Broden from Sabaton on O Maginai. The Japanese version of the album also featured 2 exclusive tracks, BMC,
Damn.
which would later be released worldwide as a digital single, as well as Up Down Left Right BBAB, which to this day has never been performed live. In exchange, the international version would feature the English version of the song Elevator Girl. Somehow I think everyone not in Japan got the short end of the stick. By the end of the Metal Galaxy tour, which ended in March of 2020, Momo had become the only Avenger still actively performing with Babymetal. On October 30th of 2020, Babymetal was featured on Bring Me the Horizon's track King Slayer. Both bands had been friends since they had met at the Kerrang Awards in 2015 and supported each other ever since, with Babymetal bringing them on their 2019 tour in Japan. So in honor of that friendship, Bring Me the Horizon wanted them featured on their post-human survival horror EP. Moving into their 10th anniversary, Babymetal was then invited to Kohaku, NHK's 71st annual television event held on December 31st of 2020. This would be their first time, and the honor of performing at the event is by invitation, and only the most successful Japanese singing acts are invited. It is a big highlight for their career, as it is typically the biggest television event in Japan.
Oh, damn.
Starting in January of 2021, Babymetal would perform once again at the Budokan. They held 10 shows from January to April to celebrate their 10th anniversary, as well as the final chapter of the Metal Resistance era. And all 10 shows featured all 10 songs off the best of album they released, as well as the return of some fan favorites that hadn't been performed in years. On October 11th, Babymetal released a piano rendition of the one titled Stairway to Living Legend, and with it they announced their hiatus by saying that they were going to be sealed from the world. Babymetal then went dark without any appearances, and it caused many to speculate over the following months that Babymetal had ended. Meanwhile, leading up to the hiatus, Momo appeared on Girls Planet 999, a Korean reality show to compete to become a K-pop idol for a new group. She introduced herself by playing Blackpink on a kazoo. I think we are all very grateful she was never serious about winning this competition. Some of the speculation of Babymetal's disbandment was alleviated when on April 1st of 2022, Babymetal revealed the Other One Restoration Project, which proceeded to slowly release snippets of new songs over the months leading up to the October announcement of a new album, a return concert in 2023, and the release of their first single, Hey Wait, Doesn't That Look Like Momo? Nah, it could just be me seeing things. On January 28th and 29th of 2023, Babymetal held their concerts signifying their return, with Momo once again appearing as the Avenger. During these concerts and the performance of Doki Doki Morning would mark the first time 3 unnamed performers would appear from the Metalverse, a multiverse of parallel worlds. This new trio then proceeded to perform the song with Babymetal while in a mirror formation to them. These concerts would also be the last time to date that we would see the Eastern members of the Kami band perform with Babymetal. Then at the end of the concerts, there was an indication that Babymetal would finally get a long-awaited third member, and caused a spiral of debates online about who it would be, though I think it's likely Momo. On March 10th, Babymetal made their first appearance on The First Take, a YouTube channel where artists would perform a song of theirs in only one attempt. They chose a special piano rendition of Monochrome, a single off their album, The Other One, that then released on the 24th and was the final album they released as a duo. The next set of concerts took place on April 1st and 2nd, and as a then rendition of theirs in only one take, a YouTube channel where that then released a song first appearance on the first take.
I'll actually keep this up. Like, I want to check this out. Okay, let's keep going.
A YouTube channel where artists would perform a song of theirs in only one attempt. They chose a special piano rendition of Monochrome, a single off their album, The Other One, that then released on the 24th and was the final album they released as a duo. The next set of concerts took place on April 1st and 2nd, and the first day would proceed to cause panic and anxiety among concert attendees as it repeatedly talked about the death and end of Babymetal. While the new trio of girls did not replace Babymetal, they did make an appearance again at both of these concerts when they performed karate alongside them. Then at the end of the first night, the long-awaited new member was announced. Momo had said she was anxious going into these concerts as she was worried that Babymetal fans wouldn't accept her, and all three of the girls were relieved as the cheers erupted. Sue and Moa had determined that the chaos of only two members had to end for them to continue on, and decided that the only way forward for Babymetal was as a trio with Momo, and were incredibly grateful she was willing to take on the burden of joining a group with such a long-established history. So they decided to put an end to the old Babymetal and re-establish the group with the three of them. With the death and end of the old Babymetal came the beginning of an all-new Babymetal, and with it a newly revised logo. From the end of these two concerts, they would then venture into the Metalverse for their new story arc that would replace the previous 10-year-long Metal Resistance. The new tour would then kick off with them supporting Sabaton on their European tour, something that was announced in 2022, which makes me wonder why people were so worried during the concert. On August 18th, they released a new single titled Metali, featuring Tom Morello, which would be the first song ever released as the new Babymetal. They would go on to perform it live with their return to Summer Sonic as the headliner of the Mountain Stage. This was also the festival that the mysterious trio would return once again, after their appearances at the Babymetal concerts earlier in the year. The new kawaii metal group were named Metalverse, and was another brainchild of Koba, and this name will never cause any confusion at all, ever. Instead of the three members they had as they mirrored Babymetal, there were now 5, and performing their own music. Then Babymetal went on to their North American part of the tour when the unthinkable happened. Someone threw something at them, a bracelet, which Moa happily accepted, and started a chain reaction of gifts thrown at them through the rest of their tour, and created a new tradition among fans that has lasted until this day.
Wow,
Then beginning
this is
on
so
October
wholesome.
31st, a
This is so
musical
kawaii.
festival called Next Fest was held in Japan by Bring Me the Horizon, and Babymetal performed there in support of them. On all 4 days of the event, the two bands finally performed the song Kingslayer together. Then, through 2024, it became obvious that Babymetal was going to focus on collaborations for the time being, including being featured on the songs of other artists. This led to an increase in momentum internationally, notably after they released the song Ra-Ta-Ta-Ta in May with the German metalcore band Electric Callboy. Both performed it live together later that month at Babymetal's first ever Fox Fest, a festival held in Japan as a way to pay it forward to other artists, among them Polyphia, Metalverse, and Bill Murray. Nope, not that one. This Bill Murray. In 2025, Fox Day came with an announcement of a celebration of their 15th anniversary as well as a release date for their, fourth studio album titled Metal Fourth. It
Damn.
then led into their first arena.
I actually like, so basically like I watched another documentary, but like really this documentary like really makes me want to discover like all the work that they did since then, because like I only know like the ones that like are known by everyone. Like it's really like this content creator is so skilled to just like make you vibe about like fucking Babymetal. I really like this type of like the pace of his documentary.
Tour in Europe beginning
It's
in
been 37 minutes though. What the fuck?
May, with them becoming the first Japanese artist to headline the O2 Arena in London. This concert would feature a performance with Poppy of their single From Me to You. She would be one of various different artists off their latest album that would perform with them through 2025. This fifth studio album was released on August 8th, with 7 of its 10 tracks being collaborations, among them Slaughter to Prevail, Spirit Box,
I am Poppy.
as well as Polyphia with a sequel to Brand New Day.
Damn.
A tour for their Metal Fourth album would take them back to North America in November for an arena concert in the US, as well as their first arena concert in Mexico. The celebration of their anniversary culminated with the release of a new version of their song Headbanger, as well as a tournament to vote for the top 15 songs, the results being revealed at the Legend Metal Fourth concerts in January of 2026, which ended their world tour. Many of these likely voted on to get songs they haven't performed in years to return. Though part of that was fulfilled at those same concerts when the long-awaited songs Catch Me If You Can and Our Dharma Fever returned together, along with Elevator Girl, as a part of a medley. Let's hope these 2 songs return as a part of their regular set list. The deluxe edition of Metal Fourth was then announced on the 10th anniversary of Fox Day in 2026, as well as a tour across Europe and the Americas, including a special stadium concert in Mexico. Now, as we once again reach the anniversary of the new Babymetal, this guide comes to a close. It's been a long road for them over these past 15 years, with so many events and happenings that I couldn't possibly cover them all.
Yeah, damn, 15 years though. Like this Babymetal didn't make me feel that like it's a 15-year-old band. Like,
So I've chosen to focus on what feels most relevant to the current state of Babymetal. With Momo joining Sue and Moa, it really feels like they've relaxed over the past few years and seem to be having more fun than ever before. So I look forward to seeing what new paths they tread in the future, and hope that maybe they will retrace some of the steps they've already taken. And maybe one day, if it is necessary, I will make another update to this guide.
this is
Until
awesome. A Fox song, subscribe and leave a like. What a fucking awesome content creator. Thank you to the viewer who suggested me to check this out. Like, was really worth it. God damn.